Tom Hanks was involved in a skit where he just mocked MAGA voters. And I couldn't help but think, why?
Pathetic performance from Tom Hanks.
Oh, well, thank you. Hey, now speaking of church, can I say something? If more folks went to church. As we celebrate the achievements of the past 50 years, we must also take a moment to honor those who we've lost.
So, let's talk about how Tom Hanks just torched his own career on live television. Ever since the absolute disaster that was SNL's 50th anniversary special, the backlash has been relentless. Why? Because Hanks thought it would be a brilliant idea to play a Southern Trump supporter in a skit that did nothing but mock and ridicule half the country. And surprise, surprise, it backfired spectacularly. The arrogance here is mind-blowing. These Hollywood elites still think it's 2016, still believe they can mock Trump supporters, still think they're the enlightened ones standing on some moral high ground. But here's the reality, the joke isn't landing anymore. America has moved on, and yet SNL, along with washed-up actors like Tom Hanks, just can't let it go. Now normally, I wouldn't even waste my time talking about SNL. It's been creatively bankrupt for years. The show has been in a death spiral, turning into a smug, insufferable propaganda machine disguised as comedy. It's not comedy, it's agenda-pushing garbage, and people see right through it. But this time they really outdid themselves. The backlash against Hanks has been so severe that even Bill Maher, yes, Bill Maher, is calling him out. And if Bill Maher, a guy who has spent decades cozying up to these Hollywood types, is saying, enough is enough, then you know we've hit a turning point. Now, let's be clear, I've never been a huge Bill Maher fan. The guy is as smug as they come. But credit where it's due, he's finally saying what so many people are thinking. Maher flat out called out Tom Hanks, saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, Hollywood needs to get over this Trump obsession. It's tired, it's boring, and it's not funny. And honestly, he's absolutely right. How many times can these people rehash the same tired jokes? We get it. You don't like Trump. Neither does half of Hollywood. But here's the thing. Most Americans stopped caring.
Frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal.
The election is over. Trump isn't even in office. And yet, here they are, still flailing around, desperately trying to stay relevant by mocking the same group of people over and over again.
But also on that program, we had Tom Hanks' skit painting Trump supporters, majority of the country that is, as racist and stupid. How is that being received in the US?
Oh, people are so upset about this. You have to understand, the election we just went through was the least racialized election probably in American history.
And let's talk about that skit for a second, because Tom Hanks was the worst possible choice for this. Hanks isn't a comedian. He's never been a comedian. His entire career is built on playing the regular guy, the relatable, all-American everyman. And now he's alienated half of his own audience. It would have made way more sense to cast someone like Will Ferrell. At least Ferrell has actual comedic timing. But no, they picked Hanks. And the result? A cringeworthy, lazy, uninspired attempt at satire that just made people angrier. And let's be honest, SNL is a sinking ship. It's been hemorrhaging viewers for years because people are sick of being lectured to by out-of-touch celebrities who think they're smarter than everyone else. It's not edgy, it's not clever, it's just predictable, lazy, and frankly, pathetic. And Maher pointed that out too. He straight up said that SNL is running a failing business model, and he's right. People don't tune in to SNL for comedy anymore. They tune in to see what political propaganda they're shoving down their throats this week. And if you needed more proof that SNL is creatively bankrupt, just look at the writing. This isn't even satire. It's just punching down. It's the equivalent of a rich kid standing on a stage making fun of people for being poor. There's no wit, no nuance, no cleverness, just smug, self-satisfied elites taking cheap shots at people they don't understand. And let's talk about Tom Hanks himself, because this might just be the final nail in his career's coffin. For decades, Hanks has built his brand on being America's dad, the wholesome, relatable guy. But guess what? He just alienated a massive chunk of his audience. People don't want to watch some out-of-touch Hollywood millionaire mock them on live television. They don't want to hear how stupid they are from a guy who has spent his entire life in a bubble of wealth and privilege. This is why so many celebrities are tanking their own careers. They don't know when to shut up. They think they're untouchable. They're not. And if Hanks was hoping to smooth things over, well, let's just say his damage control efforts have been a complete and utter failure. He's doubling down. refusing to acknowledge that maybe, just maybe, mocking half the country isn't a great PR strategy.